Hey guys, Dustin Williams here, and want to talk to you about number 2 of my 2019 biggest nutrition myths. And if you have paid much attention to me before, you're going to have already heard this one, and that is that salt is bad for you. I hear this a lot. I have quite a few clients that are, when they come to me, are terrified of salt, thinking that it causes all these bad things. Now, let me start by saying this: anything in excess can be a problem, all right? That's typical. But here's the thing, salt is actually broken into 2 separate minerals. Both are very important and necessary in our diet. That's sodium and that's chloride, and they play different roles. And if you don't get enough of sodium or chloride in your diet, to list just a few things you could see, it could lead to insulin resistance. It can cause an overactive nervous system, so like fight or flight, your sympathetic nervous system being more overactive than it should be. It can cause low stomach acid, which would affect your digestion, and all sorts of things down the list from there. Also, if you know you're hyperthyroid or hypothyroid, or if you have high stress in your life, those 2 things will typically increase your need for more sodium. If you are a huge water drinker, if you believe in getting in a gallon a day or more, or somewhere around that area, it's going to increase your need for sodium. So the thing about sodium is, where most people get confused, there's 2 areas where usually sodium can potentially become a problem. The first is if you eat a lot of processed foods, because they use a lot of the sodium as a preservative. If you are avoiding the processed foods for the most part and you're eating more whole foods, you'll find that when you switch to that type of a diet, you usually won't even get enough sodium to meet your RDAs by switching into that type of a diet. Also, the biggest issue most of the time with sodium is the lack of potassium. The salt to potassium ratio is super important whenever you're paying attention to your salt levels. So if you are getting in more salt, watch your potassium. Are you getting at least the RDA potassium in your diet on a daily basis? I think it's less than 2% of Americans actually hit the RDA for potassium every single day. So as long as you know you're getting in plenty of potassium from your diet, and if you are eating less processed foods, then try not to be so afraid of salt, because getting in more could potentially really be a big benefit for you.